Welcome back. If truth is the first casualty of war, then it also takes a pounding when politicians go into battle looking for votes. Republican presidential candidate John McCain used to be a media darling. However, he's fallen out with many of the people covering him over what the media call his lies and deceptions about his opponent, Barack Obama. This past week, McCain struck back. He went after the New York Times, saying the newspaper was effectively in the tank for the Obama campaign. This conflict over how much the media will tolerate when politicians stretch the truth could prove to be a big factor in how the rest of this campaign plays out, on the stump, in the papers, and on television screens across America. The McCain campaign finds itself under attack for lying by both mainstream U.S. news sources.
No, I had never heard of anything like this.
I want to hold you accountable for what McCain is doing and get you to weigh in on this. Has your candidate gone too far?
As well as the satirical side of American media.
Works for me. I'm John McCain. I approve this message.
Well before Wall Street's troubles made the economy the primary focus of campaign coverage, John McCain stood accused of running a series of misleading ads. One suggested Barack Obama advocates sex education for 5-year-olds.
Learning about sex before learning to read? Barack Obama. Wrong on education. Wrong for your family.
And another questionable ad accused Obama of insulting McCain's vice presidential nominee, Sarah Palin, when Obama used a common American expression to describe McCain trying to freshen up old Republican policies with a new face. He said it was like putting lipstick on a pig. Even though most in the news media thought McCain was being unfair and that Obama meant no such thing, the media followed McCain's agenda by eating up airtime discussing the lipstick non-issue.
Lipstick madness. Top story tonight, pigs in lipstick.
Lipstick on a pig.
The talk of the town on cable and radio.
All of which made many in the media wonder, does the truth even matter anymore in American politics if the news media act like one giant echo chamber?
They know that it's catnip for the news media.
I think we're in a big experiment. Obviously, if McCain wins the election and suffers no political penalty for repeating various untruths, then perhaps the truth doesn't matter. However, I really don't think that's going to happen. There have been signs in the past week that this tactic is not going to play so well.
Simply factually incorrect.
If you have the media completely turn against you, it becomes harder to control the news cycle, which is really what McCain is trying to do.
This is the same old storyline that's been coming out of the Republicans in the United States for decades. I mean, they have been focusing on the personality over substance, on creating artificial scandals, which start with the Drudge Report, a very, very popular online blog that then moves to radio, the right-wing radio hosts like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham.
Barack Obama has issues with women voters.
Then it moves to Fox News TV, and then from there it moves over to the major network TV.
You're riding the lipstick thing today.
So they have a very well-constructed media machine that can take a murmur and turn it into a roar.
The issue of the day today, all day. Lipstick on a pig.
So it was almost like the McCain campaign playing sort of dangle the bait. Are you going to pick up this silly story and then we can direct the news cycle for 2 days about it, even though you know that there's no merit to it?
Have you ever actually put lipstick on a pig?
You know,
it is a day-by-day battle. There's no question that we all move on from one news cycle to the next. That's what they're fighting. The national polls now would indicate that the race is virtually tied. So that makes for a very vulnerable situation in which every day's advantage is important.
The John McCain campaign has taken a radically different approach to this election, and whether they like it or not, the media are a big part of it. When McCain chose Sarah Palin to be his running mate, he hoped that her story, that of a gun-toting, snowmobile-riding Alaskan, would somehow trump the issues with American voters. By fashioning this new narrative and severely restricting the media's access to Palin, McCain is taking a big gamble.
The McCain campaign is trying with Sarah Palin to craft this narrative. You know, she's a hockey mom, she's a real person, she's, you know, feisty, etc. And then add to that narrative that any kind of contradiction or any kind of investigation into her actual qualifications, positive or negative, is sexist.
Can she answer tough questions about, you know,
domestic policy, foreign
But I
policy.
mean, like from who? From you?
And so they create the profile and then they try to fill it out before the rest of the media can, which is one of the reasons why they restrict the interviews, because the less that Sarah Palin says unscripted and candidly, the more the scripted Sarah Palin is in the news.
However, I think the bloom is off the rose increasingly because she is really untested on the national stage. And so she had an interview with ABC that really did not go very well for her.
Do you agree with the Bush doctrine?
In what respect, Charlie?
She was mocked on Saturday Night Live by Tina Fey.
I don't agree with the Bush doctrine. I don't know what that is.
Playing her as kind of a ditzy airhead. And I think the perception of her as being unready is really sinking in among a lot of people, which is not the narrative the McCain people want out there.
For the ratings-driven U.S. media, sometimes the facts aren't nearly as compelling as the fiction.
The media loves stuff like this, and we are driving the pig train.
And by the time the truth is out, the lies have gotten a full airing, and those who tell them tend to profit in the polls.
The facts don't seem to matter anymore, that even when the candidates come out, especially Palin and McCain, come out with obvious lies that have been proven to be untrue, they do get a bump, they get the press coverage, because what's happened is there is a catastrophic failure in the U.S. media to ask the tough questions, seek out the facts, and tease apart the rhetoric from reality.
2 days from now, I want to ask you, what will we talk about 2 days from now?
Whatever the McCain campaign wants us to talk about.
More Global Village Voices now on the reporting of the U.S. election campaign.
What's frustrating and unnerving as a voter is that the mainstream media is leaving it up to me to read between the lines as to what's a fact, what's a mistruth, and what's an actual lie. The press has failed to challenge the Republican camp on two fronts. One, to challenge some of the actual bold lies that have come out, and two, to challenge them on the issues, which are a global recession, 2 wars, people losing their houses, people finding it hard to put food on the table and gas in their tanks.
Conservative media support John McCain. Liberal media support Barack Obama. In the middle is a very small handful of nonpartisan objective media who support the truth. But there isn't a big constituency for the truth these days in America. It's how you spin it, who's the most popular, who says what you want to hear, and the media, which is under economic siege, needs to play to the audience.
Finally, if you don't like eating your vegetables, you can always play a tune on them. There are a series of music videos posted on the web by a Japanese musician who calls himself Haita 3. All of his instruments are made from vegetables and eggs. And if you don't like his work with broccoli and other greens, he plays a mean panpipes tune with carrots. That particular number has attracted more than 1.5 million hits on the web. Music that when you're done playing it and eat the instrument is actually good for you. This is our Internet Video of the Week. We'll see you next time at The Listening Post.
それでは今回できた野菜楽器たちを紹介していきましょう。ブロッコリーオカリーナビッグサイズです。大根のオカリナです。さあ、これはさっきのオカリナよりオクターブ音が低いです。耳が痛いです。